live tonight as well as our WNSTV YouTube channel. My wife is the star of this segment. We're going to talk a little bit about our trip and about saving lives in the bone marrow registry, and she's going to hold the microphone up because I don't have her headset mic on.
Eventually, when I have something to say.
You have something. You always have something to say. So you're generally pretty witty, except that it's late at night and you don't want to be witty.
I know. I look tired, but got to work tomorrow, so trying to readjust to
6
local
hours
time
of all of this going on. So anyway, we're back, and I'm trying to get our microphones to actually behave because I wanted her to wear a headset mic, but it's all good.
We're all right.
It's a radio thing. I can lean on this.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we're back, and most of you seen the video, and I guess today was even weirder because we found out that the DKMS in Cologne shared our video, and like 160,000, mostly German people. I mean, every comment was in German.
Yes. Google Translate's a wonderful thing, even though it's a little off.
Tell everybody what your favorite Google Translate was today.
I don't remember what it was in German.
Well,
Except
it means
it was
crying.
P-I,
It means
P-I.
crying.
Right, but it's pee-pee in the eyes is what it said.
Pee-pee in the eyes.
Right, I think that's the literal
I-
translation.
Pee-pee in the eyes is
Pee-pee.
my eyes are pee-peeing, I guess, right?
Yes.
Well, anyway, so let's talk about the tour a little bit because, like, I think people had some expectation about like what because they're never.
I
gonna
didn't even know what
experience
to
this.
expect.
Well,
though.
we have friends that have experienced this,
Right.
right? They've gotten on planes, they've flown far away. Maria Dennis did it a couple of days
Yes.
before you did it, and it's something like I can only view it. I mean, I didn't live it. I
Right.
mean, maybe as close
But you
to the
did
fire.
live it.
Yeah, and finding him and the excitement of who this human being actually is who saved your life after twice. And I guess the weird thing is I've written about it is that we really kind of knew him like a little bit. He was kind of what we expected him to be. It wasn't
Right.
like we didn't know what he looked like or hadn't exchanged 1,000 IMs or emails with him, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't even want to talk about this, do you?
Sorry.
It's live. It's
I
okay.
know.
It's Facebook Live. Wave to
okay.
everyone. Everybody's tuning in. I think we have viewers. We've had viewers. That's one thing.
Well, that's good.
Are you
That's a
fascinated
start.
by how much people are interested in the strangest parts of this and how...
I guess I'm fascinated how the video went that viral in Germany.
Yeah, I guess there's a feeling like everybody there knows about the bone marrow registry, but that's not true either.
Yeah, I
we
guess
found
it's
that
not,
out.
right.
Well, his brother isn't on the registry.
No, he did. He
it-
got on it a couple months ago.
Okay, but
His
even
two-
after he saved your life, his
two
brother didn't
female
get on the
friends,
registry
his
yet.
two female friends haven't.
Right. Well, it's not as much as it's become like part of what we do. Not everybody
Is aware.
is aware. Yeah, and I guess the story reaches new people every day. That I'm trying to think if we've ever heard of such a story before we were involved in such a story. Right? Literally, did you know anybody else who had their life saved by someone else via transplant, via a kidney? I mean, the Dick Cass story.
Not personally,
I didn't make a
guess.
big deal out of that until you had your life saved in the same sort of way where there's a human generosity part of this that I think anyone would find fascinating.
Well, I'd seen stories on the news and online and stuff about people who did it. But yeah, it's not that often that you hear of, people overseas donating, whether it's, bone marrow or parts.
Yeah, well, and I had another friend who, the week before we left, my Dundalk friend who had a tragic incident, lost her life, Margie, who I grew up with, and the last day and a half, they said that they were keeping her alive so that she could be a donor.
Oh, really?
Because
I didn't know
she
that.
had... And I don't know anything more because I haven't asked, but, I mean, it was on Facebook, and I thought, wow, that's a whole different thing I've never heard about in some other way as well, And I guess for us, the bone marrow registry, when they came in and said you needed a bone marrow transplant, I literally thought they were going to, hack you open. I had no idea.
I didn't know what to expect.
I think there's a lot of people that know you had a bone marrow transplant and don't even realize, what happened to you. How it happened. How they sort of kill you from an immune standpoint, that you have zero immunity, and then through a port in your chest, the blood drips into your body. That is what the transplant is.
Right.
So many people...
Yeah, it's not like surgery where it's, an 8-hour, 10-hour ordeal. It did take a couple hours to flow, but, it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah, you expect after any kind of surgery, there's sort of that part of it.
Or feeling different or
Yeah, you
something.
threw up all night, woke up the next day, ate, and went home.
Yeah.
Literally. And the first time... And the second time around, it was a whole different thing. But we want to talk about him because we've talked about this sort of the journey, but this was the last sort of thing, right? I guess.
Yeah. He was anonymous.
Yeah. And we were so afraid, right?
Yeah, we didn't want him to be overwhelmed.
Yeah. I mean, he started commenting on our Facebook, and we didn't really want him...
Especially the first night when we friended him.
Well, I mean, I think even after we sort of outed him on Wednesday, he probably had 100 or 200 Facebook friend requests from people he doesn't know,
right.
From a land far away that he's never been to. So we're trying to we're the adults here.
And he's so young.
Right?
Yeah,
he was 21 years old when he did this, and he's a very sort of normal...
We could be his parents.
Yeah.
Your son is older than
my son's
him.
10 years older than him. Absolutely. So yeah, it is definitely a little bit different. But so the video of you meeting him, I didn't even put a lot of thought into that. I mean, of all the things I've videoed that I've put some effort into, it literally was, the camera's in my pocket. I'm going to hold it on you and see what happens. And it turns out to be this piece of video that now 150,000 people have seen in Germany today.
Right.
Which is strange, right?
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's very strange. And I guess it's something that's so unscripted that it kind of speaks for itself, that people wanted to know. I guess it's like after Joe Flacco wins a Super Bowl, I say, "So, Joe, how'd you do it? What was it like?" People were like, "So you met this guy who saved your life. So, what's it like?"
I mean, it's overwhelming. I tried not to get too emotional. I had a
and we
little
really
tears,
didn't,
but
though. Really,
right.
I think the emotional part was when people started writing words back to us off of it, because none of it felt really awkward to hang, because he was easy to hang out with.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, he was easy to chat with on Facebook too.
Yeah, his English, luckily for us,
fairly good.
Yeah, I was telling Peter, my partner here at WNST. He was asking about Germany getting around, because he's never really been to another culture where people don't speak English. And I said, almost
just look for the Ausfahrt.
Right, you got to find the Ausfahrt or the Einfahrt. There's two farts you need to find in Germany, and those are both the farts. And we posted some fun pictures with that. By the way, that's an exit and an entry. For those of you
that don't know German,
don't know 5 words of German, we know 5, and those are 2 of them.
And they really do say Gesundheit.
They really do say Gesundheit. You sneezed at dinner, and 4 people said Gesundheit.
Yes.
And I'm like, who knew? I didn't know. But Germany's a little different. They sell beer everywhere. We should have shot video of this.
You can walk on the street with beer.
We had a vending machine 5 feet away from our hotel door in Cologne that had, I'm not kidding, 10 different kinds of beer. The bottom 2 rows of all 5 things were
We should have at least taken
beer.
a picture.
You can drive through Germany, and in the passenger seat and the back seat, everybody
can have an open
drinking beer.
container.
Yeah. They have a whole different view on adult beverages than we have in this country.
Yeah, they're more responsible.
I guess. I mean, they're driving 120 miles an hour, too.
And Nils's brother doesn't drink. And he's over 21.
Yeah.
I mean, the drinking age there is 18.
He's never had a drink, his brother.
That's
But
what
he
he
watches
said.
the NFL.
He does.
Everybody
They're both
watches the
into it.
NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked that...
We met a guy who worked for NFL Europe.
Yep, and knew Brian Baldinger and worked with Tony Pashos, and he works for the DKMS. So let's talk about the DKMS, because we've talked about Delete Blood Cancer, and that's the American name. That's the American branding. I guess like Dreyer's and Breyer's ice cream. In America, the DKMS is called Delete Blood Cancer, which is who we've swabbed for. We swabbed for them on our tour last year. And in Germany, it's DKMS. It stands for 4 German words that are long that you can look up. But their office was in Cologne, and you literally got to walk through all 4 floors of this really cool sort of hipster space, right, in Germany, where it looks like 80 people work, maybe? I mean, would you say that many?
At least. And that was only their press, like their
Well, that was the back floor. Probably had 20 people in their press office. I would agree with that. But they saved your life. Like your name, the swab, everything that came through there came through that office. And we went to their office and they wanted us to do a video for them. And they had media, which is where the video kind of
RTL.
went crazy. Yeah,
Right.
RTL West, I believe it's called, right? Or
Yeah.
East? Is it East or West? I don't know. We shared the video. And the video's in German, and it, like, completely makes me think of Willy Wonka and Augustus Gloop winning the golden ticket.
and I wish I could remember that part.
Well, we have to watch it again.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Well,
Well, in honor of Gene Wilder, too.
Well, all of Willy Wonka was shot in Munich, Germany, which is kind of far from where we were, but
It's like 5 hours,
still.
right?
But everybody there speaks English, right? Everybody
Most
in the
everybody,
DKMS
yes.
office spoke perfect
Yes.
English. Every under 30-year-old person we met at every coffee shop, restaurant,
Most people.
everyone in the burger joint, everyone in the bars, every drink we ordered, everyone spoke English. So it wasn't that hard, but older people, and certainly we saw a lot of people who were not of German descent, who worked in all sorts of means there that only spoke German and probably whatever their native language was. But in Frankfurt was a complete melting pot
that
of
was
people. Where he's from, it's like mostly German people and German villages.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the villages were so
cute.
cute and Euro, right?
Yeah. The architecture. I like the architecture of the older
She
buildings
likes
and stuff.
gargoyles.
Gargoyles, yeah. The mix of the old and the new.
Looks a little even French, like Parisian a little bit.
I don't know.
And they
I've
had
never been to
squares.
Paris.
That's your fault.
I know.
If you just joined us, Jen's on. We're talking about our trip to Germany. Jen's barely motivated to talk about it after wanting to talk. All you wanted to do was do this segment and talk about it, and now,
I know. We were supposed to do a segment before we left.
yeah, about like the anticipation.
We didn't get
of it.
around to it.
You were very nervous, though.
I was extremely nervous.
You got really
I was
freaked out at the
anxious,
airport.
nervous. My stomach was flip-flopping. And
Yeah, we cleared security, and you were like,
But then we
we had an
ate.
8-hour flight.
We ate and I had a drink and I settled down.
We didn't even like get crazy because we got there. We were so tired. We took a nap to try to adjust, and then literally got up and showered very quickly. And then I put the camera on you. And we were going down the steps. We
Right.
like didn't even talk about it really much.
No,
at
we
all.
didn't.
And
Not
we
at
didn't say
all.
like, what are we going to say? Because we were originally going to meet him in the restaurant. We wound up meeting him.
And then I thought that was too public for our first
Well, you met him in the
meeting.
lobby of the courtyard, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but I knew it wasn't going to be swarming with people.
Right. And there was literally no one there that
The front desk clerk, I think, was there.
did he.
that
But he
was
didn't
about
know
it.
what was going on.
No.
You could have been hugging your cousin.
Yeah.
For all he knew.
Right.
Yeah, there was no fanfare, and
Well, he does look like he could be my brother.
yeah,
We have the same nose.
It's really weird. I mean, the nurses, all of the nurses, when you were sick, all of them, they made a point of saying to you,
You'll look like siblings.
"You'll look like your donor," and we had heard that from other people, but specifically the nurses,
Right.
who had been around transplant over at Hopkins, who were just the most awesome people. We had the best nurses, the best doctors, and I think the thing about Niels that I find so fascinating, first off, the letter is incredible. Anybody that's read the letter, sort of the person we met matches the letter, right?
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Right.
Literally, that's who he was at every turn from the minute we've met him online. But he's also incredibly inquisitive about your fight and your illness and your doctors and your nurses and like how you're feeling and like all of that. He's
Yeah.
asked like a million questions about you. Like
Yes.
maybe the same way other people have asked about it, you know?
Right.
You have nothing to say about this.
I'm sorry. I'm just, maybe I'm still jet lagged or something. I even took a nap this afternoon.
Yeah, you were like so ebullient to talk about this.
Yeah.
We can do it another time.
No, that's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right.
No, he's been so sweet and nice and, you know, everything that you would expect from that, getting that type of letter. And then he donated a second time without even having received my first letter.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Like, he never got your letters.
He never knew that I was alive until they called and asked him to donate again. So I mean, I'm glad he did. He could have said no.
Well, we were concerned that he got the first note. I mean, I had even joked with you when you went in the hospital. I said, we're going to ask him for blood a second time. I hope the hell they gave him the note, and they didn't, as it turned out. He didn't get the note.
No. So, the only way he knew I was alive was that they asked for another donation. So, but when, I guess, DKMS, when they asked him to donate the first time, they asked for a 2-year commitment. So if anything happened again within that 2 years, he would commit to donating again or doing whatever he had to do.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found that out at the office.
See, I didn't learn that at the office. I'm learning that on my radio show. Isn't that wonderful? What else do you know that I don't know?
I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, we're on Facebook Live, and I haven't taken any of the questions or if anybody had any comments because I haven't even looked because I'm trying to wake you up, quite frankly. This is a very sleepy version of you tonight.
I know.
People are going to think that, you got worn out in Germany or something.
Well, no, I've had this shoulder.
You quacked out on Billy Joel on me.
I did. Yeah.
Did not go to Billy Joel with me.
No.
She's get on the subway and go alone. And then she worried about me.
Have fun. Be careful.
Because the beer was cheap. Let's be honest. The beer was cheap in Germany. Yeah. Germany was affordable. It wasn't crazy.
Even the sandwiches at the airport were less than €5? And in the U.S., it would be at least $10 for a sandwich at the airport. And they were really good, too. Those sandwiches.
Oh, my God. There's a lot of people watching. Hey, Jeff and Hells and Chuck and Colgate and Scott and let's see, Kara's saying hello and Amy's there and Christine. Brian. What's up, Brian? Lisa. Haley DeCastro, how are you? Say hello to your dad. So we're streaming on Facebook Live. I have to cue that down. I'm making a mess. She's waving to everybody now. The other part was he hasn't met anyone here, right? So
no.
We could have just been two relatively normal people with 200 or 300 Facebook friends.
I'm normal.
No, she's not. You're not normal.
I'm not normal.
Not normal at all. And he's kind of found his way into this thing, and he set up all the media in Germany.
Yes.
Just so you know, I've done 30/30 tours. I've done events. I've pulled arms of all of my celebrity friends and football friends to help us out. He actually wanted the DKMS office to do a story. He set up the newspaper story.
But I don't know that he set up the news story, the 6 o'clock news from RTL.
I don't know.
DKMS might have done
set that up,
right.
But he sort of wanted his story to be told, and he's also 5 different times given speeches to people in Germany to save lives and getting on the registry and how important it is. So he had done all of that before he even knew you were alive.
Right.
So it meant as much to him, even in the framework of the letter, as anything. And he was very concerned about his English, and his brother kind of the same way. And I don't even know that there was much of a barrier, right? I mean, we spent 4 straight days with him, and there were a couple of really esoteric words that he had to use Google Translate.
He would look up on Google Translate to see what it was in English.
Yeah, and some of the words, I remember him looking up the word arrogant and trying to find the right.
Because he's quiet, people think he's.
Yeah, translation, from the German language. And when we've seen things translated now, I mean, the usage, no wonder I can't learn German. The hell is that language? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a tough language.
But it's funny because some words are very similar in English.
Because we'll hear them talk and we'll get a word.
Right.
Because it's an English word.
No. I mean, some of their German words are similar in English.
I would agree with that. When it says willkommen, it's welcome. Okay, just when you're in the airport.
Schwimmervest?
What's a Schwimmervest?
Life jacket.
Oh, you know what? This is great.
In the airplane.
And a car rental is called a meat wagon. M-I-E-T wagon. Meatwagen. Meatwagen, I guess, means rental car, right? I mean, every sign that said rental car said meatwagen.
Isn't a hearse a meat wagon?
I have no idea. All right, so the last thing I guess we could talk about, because this segment's getting a little chunky anyway, and you're not really into it.
I'm sorry.
You're kind of like Baltimore sports fans with the Orioles, just not really into it. I'm writing about that this week as well. I did a lot of writing on the way back. I'm going to be writing more about our trip as well. So there'll be a blog up at WNST.net if you want to check that out in a couple of days as well. It'll probably sound better than this awfully...
It's not
this audio
that
is just
bad.
awful.
it
I
that
hate
bad?
when the audio's bad.
Is it that bad?
Yes, it's terrible.
I'm
You're
asking.
hot, you're cold. You know why? Because you whisper. And then you shout, and then I have to get the microphone together. I thought we knew.
Well, that's because all you do is
Haven't we
shout.
done this before? The radio thing before?
Yeah, but I'm holding a microphone. I got a bum shoulder. You got a headset.
You had a steak and 2 drinks, and now look at you.
No, we didn't have any Malbec.
That's the worst part.
That was the
Yeah, it
worst
was the
part
worst
of dinner.
part. At dinner,
But we
yeah.
did get some good corn finally.
We've been gone so long, we didn't know what was in our kitchen, so that's part
We
of it.
didn't have anything in our
Speaking of
kitchen.
kitchens, this is the part I want to end the segment with, and then we could talk about this later. When
Kitty?
No, no. His family, because your family, your mom, your dad, your sister, my mom today, my son, my mom's not on Facebook, but everyone else.
Well, she is on Facebook. She's not a member of Facebook.
Right, but I mean, we had to take her to breakfast and like literally show her
Right.
the pictures,
Yes.
which you did on your. I have great pictures of her looking at your iPad,
Oh, you
watching
took
the
pictures?
videos. Yeah, I have cool pictures of that. So we met his family over there, and I guess that was kind of the wildest thing because, like, you know, I like my son a lot. I think my son's a great person, and my son would totally do this. And he's now on the registry. And if a week from Monday he gets a packet and says he's got to go give blood, and you know he's a little squeamish about a needle the way I would be,
But he would do it.
But he would do it. And then if he were to do it and save some little Chinese girl's life, and 8 years later, said girl gets on said plane and comes and visits me, and I can't even speak Chinese, how would I react to that, right? So both of his parents struggle with English. I think his mom was better with it. I think his mom really was into the conversation because we spent about 2 hours with his mom, that she really had better English skills than his dad did.
His dad could understand it a
But
lot.
it was so
but couldn't
unbelievable
speak.
that they don't speak a lot of English. And they both pulled me aside and said, "We are so proud. We are so proud."
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, that makes me cry even thinking about it. But, you know, his brother also joined us, and his brother loves the NFL and loves the New England Patriots, which is really,
Such a disappointment.
really created hours of
He'll get along great with my family.
you know, smack talk over Kolsch is what we had.
No,
And,
we had his mom brought out all those slices of cake,
we went to their home, and they have a
and we expected nothing.
beautiful, very humble home, very almost Willy Wonka village, if you're familiar with that.
But his place was a modern.
Very modern, very humble, very the way you and I grew up.
Very
quite
European,
frankly.
small.
Very small, very European, very clean, very nice, very safe looking. There's a Burger King on one corner and a McDonald's on the other. Got the same stuff there they got here. Just
a little different.
Yeah. And we went into their home, and they showed us their bedrooms and their sports gear. And his brother has
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
jersey.
His brother loves Kobe Bryant. His brother loves the New England Patriots. And they love the NFL. And we sit down in their little guest room, and there was like a tea setting. And I'm like, I wonder if it's always like this. And then all of a sudden, like, Mom rolls out coffee and tea and cakes. And, like, next thing you know, we're, like, eating desserts.
Yeah.
That was really unexpected.
Yes. I mean, and they were like fancy desserts.
And he didn't give
it
us
was like
any heads
Cheesecake
up.
Factory.
Yeah, man.
type-
It was like, and we got no, like, heads up what was going on. It was like, hey, I live here. Let's stop and see my mom. Oh, Mom's got cake. So we're eating cake, and
Wait,
Mom is
I
very,
think-
very proud of the grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
so we had actual books of pictures of her grandchild.
Niels' older brother, who we didn't get to meet, had a baby. His wife had a baby 3 weeks ago, and they have a 1-year-old as well. So.
Yeah, so Niels is a 2-time uncle.
Yes.
And the babies are the pride of the family. So that was awesome to see, too. And his brother, is a trainer at the stadium in Dortmund, where Jen and I saw Trinidad and Sweden play in 2006 in the World Cup. So we actually had been to his hometown, driving through with our crazy friends Ken and Hockey Meg, Agent Orange. Shout out. And they might be watching, by the way. Shout out to Jeff and Joey and Susan and Bonnie and Julie and Danny and Kevin and Brian and anybody else that's in the room right now saying hello. So we were actually there once and had been on the Autobahn.
Right.
And, I can't help but to
He
think.
got a speeding ticket going back to Amsterdam.
The damn Dutchies, man. I'm telling you, man. They got speed limits in the Netherlands, Never speed near The Hague, Don't do that, But anyway, so we've been to the stadium, been to this hometown, and, here's this kid, this soccer-crazed kid who was 13 years old, who was 6 miles away and would 10 years later save your life twice.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
That's a crazy. There's a lot of
Coincidence.
crazy parts of the story, but the fact that we had been to Dortmund and really had never been off the freeway. And in Germany, the freeways are really kind of hidden. They kind of move through the villages, and you don't hear them or see them because they're kind of buried into the hillside. It's bizarre because you get on freeways and you go through and you don't see anything unless you get off the freeway,
And you got to say, Germany has beautiful countryside.
Oh, man, we drove for
Between
2 hours.
Frankfurt and
Cologne.
Dortmund.
Oh,
And then,
the whole area.
yeah.
And we pulled into villages and got gas and got sandwiches. And I fell in love with Europe all over
Yeah,
again.
me too.
I got to go back to Europe. So the travel thing that I have in me that I can't get out of me. But his family and his brother joined us for beers that night. And
Well, he had a milkshake. The rest of
he had
us
a
had
milkshake.
beer.
Yeah, he doesn't drink. He's like, it's kind of like Mark and Mike Messina. The younger brother doesn't drink. I don't get it. But so we were out at a bar where he was drinking a milkshake and then he had a cola. And, after an hour of talking about saving lives and who we are, and I don't think his brother did a lot of recon on us. I didn't get friended by his brother. I don't know that he's been on my
Right.
Facebook page. He's probably up at 3 a.m. watching this right now. So hello, Max. But I was shocked by how big sports fans they were. And Max kind of waited until we were through the burger and through the fries. And then he went all sports fanboy on me, Who's going to win the NFL this year? I like the Patriots. And I'm like, oh, no, here we go, So his brother we were out on Thursday night, and it was getting up on 11 o'clock, and we were getting ready to go to bed because we had to go to Cologne the next day. So 11 o'clock there is 5 o'clock here.
Right.
It's a 6-hour time difference, okay? So it was Thursday night. Now, I know many of you were avoiding the Oriole game because it looked like nobody went to the Oriole game last week. The Orioles didn't even play on Thursday night. The Ravens played in New Orleans, and Max said, I got to get home. We have NFL action tonight. I need to watch the games. And I'm like,
It doesn't matter.
dude, it's the 4th preseason game. What drugs are you on, man? You're not even drinking, man. What are you watching that crap for? People in America don't even watch the 4th preseason game. And he said to me, the Vikings are playing tonight. Because they say W's instead of V's. And I thought, man, this kid loves the Vikings so much.
It was cute.
It's awesome. So he wanted to get home to watch the Vikings preseason game because I guess it was played in the glass dome of theirs.
Yeah, but every Sunday they have 2 games.
And he said that they go out every Sunday night at 7 o'clock to watch the NFL. And everywhere we went in Germany, we saw Raiders stuff, I saw Eagles stuff, I saw Steelers stuff, I saw Redskins stuff, lots of Cowboy stuff, and it's readily available. You can buy gear. We walked in Cologne. There was NFL stuff in the store we were in. Should have gotten that Deutschland shirt, huh?
Yeah.
F that all up, didn't I?
Oh, well.
Anything you want to say to everybody before you fall asleep right in the middle of my radio show? Or
I'm not falling asleep.
you're bringing the
yet.
energy down around here, man.
Oh, jeez.
I got to talk baseball and football with Luke. I thought this would be more fun.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you, man?
You got to get me in the morning after I've had my coffee.
You had your life saved twice. You're supposed to be
know.
excited about this.
I am excited.
You were excited.
I wish I knew what the video said, though, from RTL.
Isn't it funny? We sat for 4 minutes with our jaws open while this lady told your story in German. They subtitled you.
Right.
And we didn't hear Neil speak German much on the trip. He spoke 95% English. I mean, a couple of times with some German people to figure out, with the cab driver who didn't speak any English. But mostly everybody spoke English to us, and we spoke English to them, for the most part.
I mean, he spoke German to his girlfriends when we were at dinner.
Yeah, but then we made
But one
translate.
of them does. Well, one of them is a majoring in English in
Yeah,
school.
she was one of the editors of the letter.
Yeah, he had her read it to make sure it was grammatically correct.
So the fun part for us, I guess, is getting the whole background, like where he was when he wrote the letter, where he was when he gave the blood. We visited all those places in Cologne. We walked the bridge as we put on Facebook
There was a
Live.
neat park that we were at, too. On that RTL video, we went over to a park to shoot part of it. And
They had deer, they had animals.
there was fencing, but you could go in the fencing and hang out with the
I
animals.
visited a moose.
It wasn't a moose.
It looked like
it was
a moose.
deer with antlers.
It was, man, the
but
antlers
the antlers looked
2
more
feet
like
wide. The antlers
they-
were like a moose.
They did look more like
They were moose
moose-like,
antlers.
but it was a deer.
Bigger than any deer I've seen on Hart Road.
Not true.
Don't come and shoot deer on my property. Whoever's doing it, stop.
Are people doing that?
They've done it.
You
got
got
to
to put up no hunting signs.
No shooting any creatures on my property, including squirrels and chipmunks.
Chipmunks are cute. I've seen red fox out at your station.
Don't shoot them either.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We appreciate everybody for stopping by on our Facebook Live chat and WNST TV. I will continue to pump her up. So the next time you're on,
They're Austrian.
man, Sprockets is more interesting than this segment's been. Man, you have been low energy here. What's going on
I'm
with
sorry.
you? I'm sorry.
I haven't had caffeine today.
All right, we'll caffeinate you. My wife, everyone.
Okay.
The survivor, the miracle, the heroine to the hero.
Yes.
He was a great guy. He's going to be in town on November 12th.
We're having a birthday. That's his actual birth date, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're bringing him over to America. And
Adventures Unknown.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I'm not going to get all get smart on you, but
All he knows is when he's coming here
and when he's
leaving.
And that's all we're telling him.
And that
that's all we're telling you.
And that we're having a birthday
We're not telling
party.
anybody. And that's it. November
That's it.
12th. That's all we're telling everybody.
Well, you got to stop telling people then.
November 12th. What? Telling people what?
What we're doing.
We're not doing anything. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I know nothing. By the way, and I'm not.
I used to love Hogan's Heroes.
By the way, I gotta go to Hogan's. I gotta do one Hogan's Heroes. I was somewhere. I was at the soccer game, maybe. No, I was somewhere, and I had to show something.
Oh, we didn't tell them about
you know what?
Schweinsteiger.
This is where it was. Oh, we didn't. Okay, now you want to talk. Okay, fine. All right, 30 minutes into the segment. Go ahead. Fine.
Well, then go ahead.
Tell them the Schweinsteiger. I want to hear the
Schweinsteiger.
Schweinsteiger story. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
Oh, so
Tell everybody where we went. The name of the town.
it was Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach. Blah. Yeah, we went there.
Yeah.
We saw
The German national team was playing Finland, and they won.
I thought the game was in Helsinki. Like for the last 2 months, I knew that the German team was playing a friendly. I didn't know it was in Germany until 3 days before we left. And I text Niels, I'm like, I looked it up, it's an hour away. He's like, let's go. And I'm like,
Okay.
how many times am I going to get to see the German national team play at friendly at home?
And come to find out, it was Schweinsteiger's last game.
And it was a
last match.
big deal, man.
Oh, it was crazy.
It was the lead story on every national news there. He cried. He had flowers. I mean, this was
They called him a soccer god.
And they chanted, Schweinsteiger is on God. It was like, and the beers were $4.
Cheap.
€4, which
And they
is
didn't
like
charge for
less than
parking.
$4. Parking was free. Tickets were $45. We had nice seats.
Yeah.
Had a great. I mean, what a great experience that
fun.
was. But I think I was at the Billy Joel concert
By yourself?
by myself, and I had my ticket to get up to my seat. And when I showed my ticket, the dude said to me, and I don't even know what it means, so don't yell at me. I'm making a Hogan's Heroes joke if I did something politically incorrect. I know what I'm talking about. All I remember from Hogan's Heroes is that, like, Schultz would say, I know nothing, right? I mean,
yeah.
And then he would also say, Jawohl, Jawohl. And one of the dudes said to me, Jawohl. And I'm like, what's that mean? I said, I only know that from Hogan's Heroes. I think it means, like, okay, you can go. I think.
Doesn't mean get out?
No, but I thought of Hogan's Heroes. And it was the only time on the trip I thought of Hogan's Heroes.
Well, maybe somebody in the audience can answer that question. What it
we
means.
have to explain it.
Why didn't you ask Neil?
Last thing that I got a tattletale on Niels, okay? Because this is a great one.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, this is good. We're walking through Cologne, and it was the last morning there. We were going back to the room, And you had thanked him several times for saving your life, which, again, I don't even know. He doesn't want to be thanked anymore. He's almost uncomfortable with it at this point, right? Like to some degree. And it's certainly uncomfortable with a lot of the fanfare.
Well, I did say I didn't have to get him a gift card.
Hundreds of people have friended him, and he's a little overwhelmed, and he wants to meet everyone, but he wants to sort of go back to life as a normal engineering student in Germany, and we can't blame him for that to some degree. But the last time we're walking through, and we're like, thank you, and in Germany you say Dankeschön to everyone, right? Or they say Dank, or they say Dank, or Danke, or Dankeschön, or some other thing we would say, thanks, appreciate that, appreciate you, solid, whatever you would say that would be slang. But Dankeschön is the official thank you, right? And I guess I started thinking about Wayne Newton. And I said to him, we say Dankeschön, but Dankeschön, for anyone older than us, anyone in their 50s or 60s, knows it as a song.
Right.
And he said, I'm not familiar with this, And I said, Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön, thank you for all the joy.
Had no idea.
And he looked at me, he's like, is that like Elvis? And I said,
A little.
yeah, kind of like when Elvis died, Wayne Newton took over Vegas, So he has never heard the song Dankeschön. So Jawal is a more emphatic form of just saying hell yes. Jawohl, right?
Jawohl.
Okay, so fair enough. So we're trying to learn German while we're there. And we had, these strangely idiot American moments, right? In Germany. A little bit of that going on. So he didn't know Dankeschön at all, the song, which we thought was cool. And we said, do you know Der Kommissar? He's like, that was Falco. Of course I know Falco, but he's Austrian.
No, Nina.
99 Luftballons. He knew that one too.
But that was before his time.
But he's into all-American stuff, like the NFL and the NBA and the Warriors and Dirk Nowitzki. And
Nickelback.
He's a huge Mavericks fan. He's going to see Nickelback later this month. So
they're Canadian, aren't they? Or are they?
He's from Vancouver. Yeah. Right. So, but I didn't even ask him about the Scorpions, but we did talk about Kraftwerk. I didn't talk Scorpions with him. I wonder if he likes the Scorpions.
Scorpions are German?
Is it Da or Nine? Yeah. That one. Da!
Really?
Not Nine.
Round and Round is German?
No, Round and Round's Rat. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm getting my hair metal bands.
Woo, it's getting late. It's getting late. That's all I'm saying. Scorpions, Here I am, rock you like a... Right, exactly. Yeah,
Sorry.
Man, you let me down. You're crushing me here. All right, we appreciate everybody. Stephanie, Christy, love you guys.
Oh, by the way, Billy
Mike,
Joel played in Frankfurt.
Gerald, Susan, Maria, watching from D.C. Give Nestor my best. It's a long story. The other Nestor. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Anything else you want to tell people about the trip? I'm writing a big blog, catching everybody up. I got my notes. You want me to get my notes?
You got notes?
Yeah, man, I wrote. What the hell you think I was doing when you were sleeping on the plane? I was bitching about Peter Angelos and nobody being at baseball games. And
it calls it the Germany files.
It's the Germany files, yes. Let's see here. I talked about sports.
Oh, you didn't get a bratwurst?
I'm so pissed.
But we did have some awesome schnitzel.
How about that schnitzel, huh? And by the way, go back and you can look this up, and I'm going to bust Niels' chops on this one. I don't know how to say bust balls in German, but...
He doesn't eat sauerkraut.
He doesn't. Yeah,
it's a little weird for a German.
Yeah, he's a little weird. For being a guy to save my wife's life twice.
It's okay.
I love you, Neil.
We'll forgive it.
I lost my train of thought now on what I was going to say because you said something about. Now I've lost my thought.
We were talking
it was about beer and bratwurst, and you said something else about food. That was a sauerkraut. Schnitzel. Oh,
German chocolate.
So
cake?
We shot the video on Facebook Live on the bridge in Cologne.
Oh, with the locks.
And all he did for 3 days was turn his nose up when we told him we were eating schnitzel in Cologne. He said, I will eat before. I do not like schnitzel. I will not eat schnitzel. And we got him to the schnitzel place, and the schnitzel went down, and he ate...
Wait, he ate his?
He ate a schnitzel the size of my laptop. I mean, I'm not kidding. It was
Well, and then he ate half of mine.
And then he ate half of yours. And he kept dumping the salsa on. And he kept telling me how much he didn't like mushrooms, but he kept eating my mushroom gravy.
No, I ate your mushroom
That schnitzel
gravy.
was phenomenal.
That mushroom gravy.
That Kolsch was great, too.
Yeah.
And so I keep saying I'm going to end this thing, but I keep coming up with more stories. Because I wrote the stuff down. One of my biggest regrets is after you got drunk in Cologne. Don't deny it. She wasn't hammered. I mean, there was no hangover, so I know
think the
she
last
wasn't
beer
hammered.
did it, though.
The last beer, she gets a little mouthy when she's been drinking. I know you know what I'm talking about, okay? So we're in Dom Cathedral Square, where, by the way, some really horrible stuff happened on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
If you Google it, you can learn about Dom Cathedral and Cologne and New Year's Eve. Just Google it.
But Dom Cathedral itself is beautiful.
Oh, my God.
Inside
what a
and
place.
out, yeah.
And I was inside the cathedral, and you and Niels were, like, walking around the cathedral because I just wanted to, like, sit down. And I think I had a couple pictures I wanted to put up, and it had Wi-Fi. And Mickey Coachella wrote the nicest note.
Yeah.
And I'm in the cathedral, and I look down, and there's Mickey Coachella writing about us, and it made me cry. I was like in the church. You know, we sort of cried inadvertently at various points on this trip. Like his mother made me cry twice. His father made me cry. His brother made me cry when he said he was a Patriots fan, you know. But, you know, they were such big sports fans, and I got to talk to him about Oliver Kahn and losing in 2002 to Germany, and Michael Ballack, who I have a man crush on, and we talked about Schweinsteiger, and we talked about the World Cup championship, because Germany won the World Cup the week he saved your life.
Yeah.
And we knew he was German, so we started rooting for the German team
Right.
in the World Cup finals.
I didn't root for Italy.
I wasn't rooting against Brazil, but when they were losing 6-1, it became a foregone conclusion that it was Deutschland's to win. And so the last thing we did in Cologne after drinking pretty much all day, I mean, like, pretty much really, like, we checked in. I started drinking at the DKMS office.
They
right?
were little.
They were little glasses of beer, but there were a lot of them. And they kept coming 3 at a time, and we kept ordering them 4 at a time. So at the end of the night, it's getting late. We're out in Dom Cathedral. It was just a beautiful sunset. If you've seen the pictures, you know about it. And he started asking me about the NFL, and you started to, like, lip off about what you knew about the NFL, which I found out that you don't know what the hell. I need to refresh you on a nickel and a dime package.
It was the 4th beer that did it.
This really disappointed me that she was chiming in with all sorts of substitutions that only exist in her mind.
Start talking substitutions. I'm not that dumb to start talking about it. I know I don't know that.
She talked about it. I
No
swear to
way.
God she did. So we were at the table, and I don't even know what got into me, except the only thing on the table
We're coasters.
were coasters. And I grabbed the coasters, and I counted 11 of them out because he was asking me about viewing the game and where our seats were and watching the games because he loves the NFL, and he wanted to learn more about the NFL. So I put the coasters out, and I started doing offense and defense the way Marvin Lewis taught me
Yep.
at Bertucci's on that paper with crayons. I mean, Marvin used to draw plays
X's
up
and O's.
at Bertucci's over pizza at the mall they just ripped down in Owings Mills. And I didn't have a pen, and I didn't have paper, so all I had was coasters. I really wish you would have videoed me trying to teach him the 4-3 and the 3-4, because he kept asking, like, why do they have 4 wide receivers sometimes? Why do guys run on and off the field? Like, I don't understand what they're doing. I know there's a strategy, but I want to understand the strategy. So I try to teach him football.
I was trying to pay attention.
Well, we're going to bring him
So
in
I
November.
was trying to learn.
You did a lot of talking for trying to learn. That's all I'm saying. She had some crazy 2-5 defense.
What?
I mean,
He's making stuff up.
Buddy Ryan would have. Wait till I
Beat
tell
my
Marvin.
butt.
Yeah, wait till I tell Pagano about your lack of defensive knowledge after being married to me for. I take this responsibility. It's a serious responsibility to teach people football. And look, and then I gave you the test, and you let me down.
I admitted
you
I
let
didn't
me
know
down.
anything.
You let me down.
That'd be like me trying to explain my job to you.
There'd be no way. But I wouldn't sit
Enough
there and
said.
act like I knew what was going on. I'd be like, yeah, I know where Pottstown is. I've been to Scranton. I know where Wilkes-Barre is. I got relatives in Clark Summit. That's all I know about your job. Her job's complicated. It's not like this. I just sit here and talk about sports. I mean, I make it look maybe easier, but I did teach him some football.
Yes.
So, we're going to make him a Ravens fan. Tell everybody what we did on Thursday night. We'll leave it at this because this is a fun story. And this involves one of our great sponsors, Goodwill Industries, because I do their Halloween gig every year.
Right. So we brought Niels a couple gifts, and one of them being a Ravens hat.
A Ravens hat that Marvin Lewis shipped to me 3 years ago and said, find somebody with a bigger head than me. So I found Niels.
It's very understated.
Very German, I thought.
It's a black brim and white top, and it just says Ravens on it, and it's got a little purple bird head.
Yeah, it's not purple and like pink like this. It's like something a quiet German kid would wear.
Right. So, and then...
Because I'm type A and he's type B.
Goodwill Industries and Lisa gave us an autographed Dirk Nowitzki picture. So we gave that to him as well. So
and he's a huge Dirk Nowitzki fan. So we're excited about that.
He was very excited.
His brother cried.
I think his brother was jealous.
That's going to be on the wall. His brother needs to get rid of the Rajon Rondo jersey in the closet as well.
There's nothing wrong with the Celtics.
He's got a Celtics and a Lakers jersey in his closet.
Throwback to the 80s.
I was
except for
very
the Kobe
impressed
part.
that Niels had a Schweinsteiger team jersey, too,
Right.
that he wore to the game. Everybody was sporting their German stuff, so we had a great time. Cool. We appreciate everyone showing us some love and being interested in our crazy stories. And I'm just glad that my wife woke up for the segment at some point. You all right now?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm okay.
I remember
You wanna
like
keep
when
going?
you used to love talking on the radio.
Well, we didn't used to do it at 9 o'clock at night.
I know. Yeah, all right.
It's almost past my bedtime. I got PT in the morning.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone. We appreciate you guys. Jeff, Tim, thanks for the schnick schnack reference. That's not a real German word, by the way, just so you know.
You asked him?
No, I Googled it. I asked Google Translate. They didn't know what it meant.
Why don't you ask Niels?
I now know what PP in the eye means.
And I think it was PIPI on the when
That's
they wrote
pie
it out.
pie.
Oh, was
PP
in the eye. But I think...
You're urinating.
Yes.
That happened a lot to us last week in Germany. We PP'd in the eye. I gotta learn how to say that in German as well. We appreciate all the love on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and all the kindness for Niels. He's a little overwhelmed, right? A little bit.
Yes, he is a little bit.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh,
it's a big deal for him, too.
Wait, well, with the video going viral...
How would you feel if you saved somebody's life?
With the video going viral in Germany, like all his neighbors found out that he had done this and they didn't know.
He didn't tell anybody that he did this, and he didn't know you were alive till 8 weeks ago. And how do you, then go on Facebook and say, oh, by the way, 2 years ago, I took a couple of shots, I went and gave some blood in the hopes of saving some woman in America's life because, she needed me to save her life, and I felt like I should do this or she's going to die, and I don't want her to die, even though I don't know her. God bless him. That's all I can say.
There were a couple people who commented on there that said that they had donated and hadn't heard from their recipient. So, and they were disappointed that they hadn't heard.
And we've met
anything.
so many people now that have become part of the donor process. So we really appreciate that. We appreciate all of our friends at There Goes My Hero. And
if you haven't swabbed, go out and swab.
November 12th, we're bringing Niels to town. We're doing an event at Roost Chris Pier 5. Come one, come all, come as you are. And meet the man who saved my wife's life twice. And get swabbed for the registry and say hello and talk football with him. And by then, he'll have a whole purple closet, I'm sure.
Maybe.
We hope so. That's all I can say. Happy football season.
Yay!
Going to the game Sunday.
Thursday.
We're going to the game Sunday. How about that?
I know.
Isn't this good?
I'm ready.
And you're alive. Look
I missed
at you.
almost all of last season. So.
Any parting message after 49 minutes of this?
No, just go out and swab.
Much love. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
You can find me out in the Bayou Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app as I get all my levels corrected now that I'm away from my wife. You can also find us every morning in the Bayou Toyota Audio Vault at 7 a.m. That's free of charge, powered up by Planet Fitness and the Brick family and the Woods family, unbelievably kind to us as well. Last but never least, Breaking news happens first, and it happened a lot. It happened right in the middle of scenes from an Italian restaurant. Justin Forsett got released right between a bottle of red and a bottle of white, and I come home, next thing you know, he's a Raven again. So welcome back. WNST tech service, very active, even in Deutschland, even at 4 in the morning when I was getting texts that were 10 in the morning here and, or whatever, 10 at night. I don't know. I'm a little jet-lagged myself. Nasty at WNST.net reaches me, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and all week long getting you ready for the Ravens, getting you ready for Orioles, bitching about the Orioles attendance, writing blogs about German saviors and heroes and fun, and sharing funny German videos about her life getting saved in Cologne and the beer we drank. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Taos in Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports. You can wave goodbye to the people now.
Bye, people.
Bye, people.